Adrian Chase is one of DC Comics' most complex and emotionally driven characters, a man caught between his dedication to justice and his descent into vengeance. First introduced during the 1980s, Chase evolved from a respected district attorney into the masked anti-hero known as Vigilante, a transformation rooted in trauma, moral conflict, and a growing disillusionment with the legal system. His story is a gripping tale of how one man's thirst for justice can ultimately consume him, blurring the lines between hero and criminal. Adrian Chase made his first appearance in the New Teen Titans Annual Number 2 in 1983, created by writer Marv Wolfman and artist George Perez. At the time, Chase was portrayed as a principled and idealistic New York City district attorney, working alongside superheroes like the Teen Titans to bring down organized crime through legal channels. But Chase's life would change forever after a mob boss ordered a car bombing that killed his wife and children. The devastating loss shattered his belief in the legal system's ability to deliver true justice. Haunted by grief and anger, Chase disappeared from public life and reemerged as Vigilante in his self-titled series Vigilante No. 1, 1983. Unlike other superheroes, Vigilante wore a simple dark blue costume with a red visor and used conventional firearms and martial arts instead of superpowers. His mission: to take down criminals by any means necessary. What made Adrian Chase unique in the DC universe was his psychological depth, his internal struggle with guilt, rage, and the consequences of vigilantism. As Vigilante, Chase wrestled constantly with whether he was making a difference or just escalating the violence he once tried to stop. Unlike other crime fighters like Batman, who maintain a strict no-kill rule, Chase often found himself crossing moral boundaries, sometimes executing criminals and suffering immense emotional torment afterward. The Vigilante comic series explored dark and mature themes, showing Chase's mental deterioration and the alienation that came from his double life. His actions began to affect innocent lives, and his inability to maintain control led to tragic consequences, including the death of allies and unintended victims. Over time, the cost of Adrian's violent crusade began to overwhelm him. He retired multiple times, only to be pulled back into the fight again. During his absence, others would take up the vigilante mantle, sometimes with even more brutal methods, highlighting how his symbol of justice had spun out of his control. The original vigilante's journey culminated in tragedy when, overwhelmed by guilt and his failures, Adrian Chase took his own life in Vigilante No. 50, 1988, a shocking and somber end to a groundbreaking character arc. Though Adrian Chase died, his legacy lived on. The vigilante identity was adopted by other characters in the DC universe, including Alan Wells, Dave Winston, and later Pat Trace. Chase's influence would also be felt across various DC storylines, especially in tales involving street-level heroes who operate outside the law. Chase's character was reintroduced to modern audiences through adaptations in other media. Most notably, he appeared in the Arrowverse series Arrow, portrayed by Josh Segarra, although with significant alterations to his origin and personality. A new version of the character also appeared in Peacemaker, 2022, played by Freddie Stroma, where he was reimagined with a more humorous and erratic personality, drawing from but diverging significantly from the original comic portrayal. Despite his relatively short run in the comics, Adrian Chase remains one of DC's most haunting and memorable anti-heroes. His journey raises important questions about the cost of justice, the limits of the legal system, and the psychological toll of vengeance. Chase was never a symbol of hope. He was a warning. A man who lost everything and tried to fix a broken world by breaking himself in the process. In the world of superheroes, Adrian Chase didn't shine the brightest, but his story cuts the deepest.